Right. Data is obviously really important to how we evaluate a potential acquisition target, and how our process starts is actually through data and being able to look at financials. Typically, at least the way we've approached potential targets up to this point, is we'll leverage a broker or an outside expert that is focused in on the space, and they've helped the company that they're looking to help sell. They'll help them create a book. And typically we'll have to sign an NDA around that to be able to have access to that book. But that book gives us a sense, really, of who's the leadership that's in place, what do their financials look like. They might not they might not define who the customer is, but they'll have customer A with this amount of sales. So we'll be able to tell how diversified their portfolio of business is. So I was actually talking to my CFO earlier today about this, that the two most recent acquisitions that we've ended up executing on, I knew within the first 5 minutes of looking at that book that those were the two that we needed to buy. And we've probably looked at least 80 over the last 2 years, but literally within the first 5 minutes of looking at a book, I knew those two were the two that we needed to bring into our family. Well, I think the speed that I end up understanding that this is really one that we need to focus in on, again, goes back to the pillars that I built our strategy around, which is a highly diversified portfolio of business. So both of those companies, even though one's in Connecticut and one's in Oregon, both their largest client made no more than 4% of their total revenue. So that was really good. And then when you look at their second tier leadership outside of the founder, both companies had people that had been in place for at least 20 years. And so that was a telling sign for us. And then pricing, that was really easy. We were able to look at their pricing and recognize very quickly that they were aligned to how we would approach things. So that was like instantaneously knew that there was a connection there. How do you manage an acquisition strategy and executing on that, and also running your core day-to-day business? And I would say for me, that's still very much a work in progress. I think if I evaluate over the last 5 years, we've learned how to buy companies successfully and bring them into our world, and that's helped elevate our growth. But when I peel the onion back, I'll look at our core business and say we haven't grown year over year in the ways that we did prior to us executing on an acquisition strategy. So I think there is work for us to do around there. I think I probably put my own personal focus in one place and didn't put it in another. And so I'm learning in actually 2018 and how do I create balance around that, and how do I create more foundational structures inside of our core business so that it can on its own continue to grow organically without my focus and influence around.